Welcome to this edition of the NCW Magazine. I'm Caitlin Hedersheet. This episode, we're taking a look behind the scenes with the Eastmont Bonga Marimba Band. Comprised of a select number of elementary and middle school students, the band is led by music teacher Vinny Lee. Lee says she got the idea for the band at a music convention when an elementary marimba band performed for the attendees.
And I think my jaw about dropped to the floor when I heard them play. And I thought, and I had been looking for a group to do after school, and I did recorders, and I did strings, and I did some various things. The drawback to that was funding. Like, how was I going to afford these instruments?
After the convention, Lee said she bought a bass marimba for herself to gauge the interest of her students.
So I brought the bass to school, and I think that even the teachers were so excited to have the bass, just in the presence of the bass in the room. And then the bass came the following year in March, and then in April we had a marimba band was going on tour through our area, so they did an assembly at our school. And that's just what hooked the kids when they heard the marimbas. And then the same year in May, Eastmont School District had a grant opportunity. It was called a locally funded grant. And I thought, I'm writing a grant. And so with the help of my principal at the time, John Abbott, and another teacher here who had won a Gates grant, I got some input from them at the beginning of the grant writing process. I wrote the grant and it was approved, and it was a 3-year grant, and each year I had to reapply for it, and we got it all 3 years, so that's how I got the instruments.
Playing with the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra, Lee says she knows what joy music can bring to a community, and she wanted a hand in training the next generation while also giving her students the same opportunity of bringing music to their peers.
So that was the big thing for me. I just wanted to have the kids learn how to experience the joy of bringing music to the public. I'm a string player. I'm a violinist and a violist, and this is a percussion instrument. And so before I started, I talked with multiple people who had marimba bands and found out the different ways I could go, like whether it was going to be an audition group, or whether it was going to be an invitation, or whether it was going to be just anybody who wants to come. So, and I took as much marimba as I could in workshops, and the man who started the whole elementary marimba actually teaches in Tri-Cities, Walt Hampton, and that's his music that we play is Walt Hampton. And so I talked a lot with Walt, and then I had to pick and choose what was going to work for me and what was going to work in our schedule.
The marimba is a percussion instrument usually made of wooden bars and played with rubber mallets, often found in areas like Mexico, Costa Rica, and West Africa.
Well, our instruments are fashioned after an African-style marimba, and the music that we play is inspired by the Shona culture from Zimbabwe. And so I looked up Shona words, and I found 3 different words, and one of them was bonga, and bonga means wildcat. And we're from all the elementary schools in Eastmont School District, and so I had the 3 words, and I told the kids what they meant, and then they voted. And they voted on bonga marimba. So that's how we became bonga. And then my other group is called Kutamba Marimba, and we did the same thing when we started the second group, and the Kutamba means to play.
Students participating in the Eastmont Bonga Marimba Band are individually invited to join, something Lee says was important for the group to be successful.
I chose invitation because when I first started, it was 4th grade. The first year was just 4th and 5th grade, and I didn't want to do an audition because I thought that would crush the hearts of those kids that I didn't pick. So I just couldn't do an audition. I wanted to be able to take the kids into the community, and if you're going into the community, you can't rely on kids just coming into the group, because then they come when they want and they don't come when they want, and maybe they can play, and maybe they are the type of student that they can play, but it's going to take them a lot longer, and we learn really fast. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do it by invitation, and then I developed a set of parameters and characteristics. Here's what I want, And then I gave that to all the elementary music teachers, and I said, here's what I'm looking for. And then they picked the kids from their school, because I don't know them. And then they sent me the names, and then I sent out a letter and said, you have been chosen by your elementary music teacher. I'm inviting you to be part of Bonga Marimba because you've been chosen by your elementary music teacher. They feel it's quite an honor. I think the parents feel, because it's such a select group, we are district-wide, but I only have 15 marimbas. So that's how come I have to keep it at the numbers that I have to balance out the sound, but I only have 15 marimbas. But the thing is, in all of our schools, we have those the ORF instruments, the xylophones that the kids were talking about. So all students have the opportunity to play xylophones in their schools. And I kind of refer to us as like the all-star baseball team.
Students participating in the group have been able to flourish on stage. Lee says she's seen even the shyest of students grow into strong leaders and performers.
I think it brings confidence, because we are going out into the public all the time, and 2 years ago we had 21 gigs, so in one school year, and they get so comfortable, and I don't let them play a tune until they know it well, so that way when we do go into public, they're successful.
We'll be back with more on the Eastmont Bonga Marimba Band right here on the NCW Magazine. Welcome back to the NCW Magazine. We're continuing our look behind the scenes with the Eastmont Bonga Marimba Band, a program local music teacher Vinny Lee says brings her inspiration and joy each week.
I feel so blessed that I can end 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, because I have 2 groups, with marimba, because the music is so uplifting. It's dance music. And so when you saw that one student that was dancing, that's mostly what we play, is a type of a dance music, and it's very lively, and the kids are such great kids, and they may be motor mouths at times, but they're so respectful. I think it's the joy. It's these students inspire me, because they come in and they're good kids, and they're happy, and the music's happy, and they enjoy being together. I think that's the one thing. We are a family, and they love to be together, and I love to be with them.
For member Ella Shamo, she knew she wanted to join the group as soon as she heard the unique sound of the marimba.
I had heard it in 2nd grade at the talent show, and I just thought it was really, really cool. And when I got my letter, and I was just like, oh yeah. I don't know, it's just like, I feel the music pulsing beneath my feet, and it's just like, what makes me want to jump in and stuff and dance.
Lee says the group practices without any sheet music.
We learn everything by rote, so they have to learn it through ear. We can play very difficult rhythms, and we can put very difficult rhythms together between different instruments, because we're not reading. And I can say a rhythm, I can sing a rhythm or clap a rhythm, and they all go, oh yeah, I get it. And they will do that rhythm. So that's how come we can play the level of difficulty of music that we can play. The student teaching, we learn so much quicker. So once they learn to learn a tune by memorizing, by hearing it, and then being shown, and then memorizing it, we can learn much faster, because there's like 17 kids in the group, and I can teach, there's 5 different sections, and I can teach 1 kid out of each of the 5 sections, and now they're teaching the other 2 or 3 kids within their section, so we learn much quicker. And it develops leadership, and they love it. These are all, I have a class full of leaders really in here.
For Peyton Smith, he says he was surprised by how quickly he was able to learn a new instrument without looking at any music.
I got the letter and I thought to myself, well, I play piano, this should be easy. But when I walked in, I realized that there was no sheet music, so I knew I wouldn't be doing that good. But once I memorized the notes and all that, I got better and better. So.
Playing in the community at a variety of events and venues, Peyton says in the beginning he was nervous about performing.
It's nervous at first, but then you realize that you're the one who's playing, so you're the alpha. So yeah, they like what you like. If you mess up, they don't know you're the song, so it's pretty okay.
He tells us how he pushes through the tough parts of some songs and what keeps him coming back.
I look over at my superior classmates, and yeah, I keep on trying to start the part of the section of the song again and again. And once I get that down, I move on to the next part and the next until finally I know the song. I keep on coming back because I just love the teamwork and just the friendship in this room that keeps the music going, and yeah.
Band member Kaylee Pearson says they've had the opportunity to perform at a variety of local venues, including her favorite so far, a local retirement home.
I can't remember what it's called, but it was a retirement center, I think. And I like going there. We got to go there multiple times for the last group because they invited us back and they really liked it. I liked it that they liked it a lot and they were happy about it. Probably how it makes you feel like excited and happy.
Jesse Hicks says he accepted his invitation to perform with Bonga Marimba as a new musical challenge.
I was not really doing anything after school, just piano, and that was only 1 day a week. So I said to myself, I can do this. And then after the first month or so, it started getting really fun, and I just couldn't stop. My favorite part is probably learning new songs. I like the variety of different types of songs that we do, and yeah, it's fun doing and learning new songs. It gives you that good feeling when people clap at the end and everyone stands up.
Chloe Roberts says her experience with the xylophone opened the door for her on the marimba, and the way Lee has instructed the group keeps her coming back.
I like the learning process. I don't know why, I just like starting to learn songs, the different ones. It's kind of nice because she'll work on one person, they'll learn it, and then they'll go teach the other people. So if I get stuck on a part, I can just go to like either Mrs. Lee or one of the other people on my instrument.
Coming up next on the NCW Magazine, we'll listen in on Eastmont Bonga Marimba during their rehearsal. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the NCW Magazine. Today we've taken a look behind the scenes with Eastmont Bonga Marimba with instructor Vinny Lee. We'll close out this episode with a listen in on the group's rehearsal. That wraps it up for this episode of the NCW Magazine. To view this episode or others on demand, visit ncwlife.com and navigate to the Watch Now tab, where you'll find all of our programming available on demand on the NCW Life channel. Thanks for watching.